River Podcast.
Hello again, and a very warm welcome to the Celtic Forever podcast. It's another big weekend of Scottish football, and we have Celtic in action up at Pittodrie against Aberdeen. We're all looking forward to that, to make it 2 wins in a row, hopefully. Let's bring in John. How are you, John?
I'm all right. Bit tight one at the weekend, wasn't it? St Mirren, horrible to watch. Just kind of, is this goal ever going to come? Aye, that was a tight one, wasn't it? Just, I didn't enjoy watching that at all.
No.
Don't get. I did enjoy it, but obviously I enjoyed it. But biting the old nails under, nothing left there.
Yeah, that was it. It was a tough one to watch, wasn't it? And apologies to everybody waiting on the post-match, but I wasn't feeling too well through the week, so I had to leave it this week, folks. So apologies for that. But we're back now with the preview of the Aberdeen match. We're also going to do the news, any rumours, gossip, signings, anything like that that's happened over the last few days as well. But I want to start with the competition, the new competition, the 25-player league. We've got the 25 entries in, the correct scores, that is. Correct score league. We had the 25 entries in, and we did get one correct entry, John. So there is somebody clear at the top of the league with the 3 points, while everybody else sits at 0. Build It Up got it right, 1-0 to Celtic. Build It Up, they got it right, but unfortunately Build It Up was 2 days late. A good try, but no, Build It Up, get your entry in on time. That's what it's all about. You've got to get your entry in before the kick-off, so that one doesn't count. But the one that got it right, John, was the Mad Scotsman, or shall we call it Mad About Football. He's changed his channel name. He or she's changed the channel name to the Mad Scotsman. Got it right, John. Get entry in before the game kicked off last weekend against St Mirren. 1-0, he said. So well done to him. Clear at the top of the league, John, the Mad Scotsman.
Aye, well done, aye. Well, clear at the top of the league. There's only one game gone, right enough. But look, 3 points is 3 points. If you're sitting pretty on top, that's good for me. It's always good to see somebody getting it right, because...
Yeah, there's somebody... I wish it was me, John. Although it's just one game that's gone, I'd love it to be me, to be sitting there clear with that name at the top of the league and everybody else sitting below me with 0. Congratulations. That's one win under your belt, 3 points on the board. So, folks, what we need you to do is get your guesses in for the Aberdeen game. You've got until kick-off on Sunday. Get your guess in, 1 guess each. Correct score, Aberdeen versus Celtic. Get yourself on the board with 3 points if you get the correct score. So good luck with that, everybody. Right, John, let's get into this. There's a wee bit to go through with the news first. Wee bits of news, snippets of news earlier on today. Johnny Kenny signed a new contract, 4-year contract, taking him to 2029. Johnny Kenny, John, I like the look of him. He replaced Eder against Mirren, came on, held the ball up really well, done a brilliant job for us up front, and he's now signed this 4-year contract. It's just good to have Johnny Kenny on the books for another 4 years.
I like Johnny Kenny. I know he's no banging in a load of goals. He's not had the time on the park to be doing that yet. But I think he will. I think he'll deliver. Adam Eder, of course. Is Johnny Kenny going to push him out the team? I don't think so right now. But if you have to ask me who I would pick up front right now, I think Johnny Kenny looks... maybe edges it for me, to be honest with you, Xander. I would go make him my first choice before Adam Eder, because Big Adam, he's just not doing it right now, is he?
No, we're a bit lightweight up top just now. We've got Dyson, who's not flying on all cylinders at the moment, but he'll come good, don't worry about that. We've got Adam, as you said, John, also no flying just now at all, actually, is he? Hence, he came off against St Mirren. And then we've got on the other side Yang, who again didn't exactly shine against St Mirren, but it is only one game, and Forrest came on and he was brilliant. But we'll talk about that a wee bit later, John, the St Mirren game. So we're a wee bit light up top. We need to get these signings in. Obviously, we lost Nicholas, we lost Kyogo as well, and Jota injured, John. So we're definitely a wee bit short up top.
Aye, oh, definitely short up top. Aye, is what it is, in it. But I don't know. I'm thinking. Look, Dyson, he'll come good. Yang, no sure about him still. He's a good player that Yang is. Lots of technical ability and all that stuff. My preference in that position is definitely James Forrest. What do you think? I'm just thinking James Forrest all day for me in that position.
Yeah, it's got to be Forrest from now on until we get another right winger in. John, obviously, James's legs aren't what they used to be, but when he came on against St Mirren, he totally changed the game. Very direct, great crosses, efforts and goals, setting up chances. He was just brilliant when he came on. Made a big difference to the team. So against Aberdeen, for me, it's got to be James Forrest. I agree with you there. But John, we need to get these purse strings loosened and get some signings in the door. I know there's still 3 or so weeks to go, maybe just under 3 weeks to go to the transfer window closes, John, but we really need to try and get some players in, especially up top.
Aye, we definitely need another couple of players in, another few players in. We've talked about the positions we need to fill. In the central midfield, Callum McGregor role still has not been filled. Something we've been talking about for, 2 seasons? Well, since we get rid of Iwata, I still think it was a stupid move by Celtic getting rid of him. Great wee player. And we're still not replaced Iwata for the Callum McGregor role, if Callum ever gets injured, I mean.
Yeah, that's it, John. There's definitely shot there. Another centre-half possibly required, but we did sign a centre-half, John, and Puzzi, centre-back from Manchester City. Puzzi, 21-year-old, 1 year loan deal for Puzzi. He reminds me, I put the video clip on of his compilation and his interview. He reminds me a wee bit of, I know it's hard to tell with compilations, I understand that, but he reminds me of Jason Denayer a wee bit, not just in looks and stature, but in ability as well, John. He's got that long diagonal pass. He's got that in his locker. He's got a good tackle. He can pass the ball from the back as well to the left, to the right, John. It just reminds me a wee bit of Jason Denayer. What do you think, buddy?
I ain't seen his compilation clip yet, so I can't tell you, Xander.
Yeah, we'll watch it after this, John, because I did put the video up. It's there. He looks quite decent, but it's hard to tell when he's playing at a lower level for Manchester City's under-21. So it is hard to tell. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough when he pulls on the Hoops jersey, possibly against Aberdeen, you never know, but we'll find out soon enough what type of player he is, John. But it's a 1 year loan anyway. Again, no a great amount of money spent. Obviously, his wages will need to be covered, but John, we're definitely keeping the money close to our chest. The board is anyway. The purse strings have definitely tightened up this season anyway.
Aye. I mean, I know the Rangers fans are having a laugh. They think it's all over at Celtic. I've seen a lot of their comments. They think it's over. They think they're now probably looking at being champions because Celtic aren't spending any money. I've seen a lot of Rangers fans thinking that. So careful what you're laughing at. It might come back and bite you.
Yeah, they can't laugh at anybody. Just one word, Motherwell. Anyway, John, we'll get back to that, the games that have already passed. No, Celtic will sign, John, but it's just a case of will we sign before this Champions League qualifier, or will it be too late, John? Because we want to get these players in before the qualifier, obviously, because we want to give ourselves the best chance possible for qualifying. And I know the draw was quite kind to us, Kairat, Almaty or Bratislava, John. I know the draw was quite kind, but nothing's guaranteed, John. Nothing is guaranteed. I know we beat Bratislava last year 5-1 at Celtic Park, and the first game is at home, if it is Bratislava, so we'd be looking for a similar sort of result. But John, if it's Kairat, Almaty, I mean, what a draw that would be, him to travel, 4,000 miles, whatever it is, John, from Glasgow to there. It's a long flight, John, for the players and the fans that would be going if they do go. It's a long flight if it is indeed Kairat Almaty, but I suppose we're all hoping it's Bratislava, but they need to turn around a 1-0 deficit if that's going to be the case.
Aye, look, I never like Celtic travelling away to these places. It's just horrible. I mean, I was watching, didn't watch it, I was listening to a bit of the Rangers game the other night there as well, by the way. 3-0, That was a bit of a whitewash, wasn't it?
Yeah, I watched a wee bit of a very poor team they were playing. We did speak about that in the last podcast before we even saw a ball kicked at me, John, that they were amateurs. We did say that Pilsen were a very, very poor team. So, yeah, we knew that anyway, but it's the next round where they're maybe going to struggle against Bruges, potentially because they've got a 1-0 away lead to take into the next leg. So, John, it could be potentially Bruges for them. Or, I think the other one's Salzburg, isn't it? So it's Bruges or Salzburg. Bit of a tougher tie, but I think the tie was quite kind to them as well. The draw, sorry.
Aye, definitely, aye. There's not got any big guns in there, but we'll wait and see with them. But like we says on the last podcast, Pilsen, I kept saying, I hope Celtic draw somebody like Pilsen, but I never expected anything else, to be honest with you. Did you?
Well, I think we did say that it's a buy into the playoff round for the Rangers, John. We did say that. Well, I definitely said that. I think you said you hadn't seen anything, so you couldn't really comment. But going from what I heard, that was a buy basically into the playoff round. I know the tie's not over yet, but 3-0 tells you that's more or less finished, isn't it? Even though they're still to go over to the Czech Republic, John. So the tie's over. It was a buy into the playoff round, just like we said, and just depends who they get, because we did struggle against Bruges last season in the Champions League, John.
Exactly, but look, we'll wait and see. But with them, they're no Celtic. You've got to remember that as well. They were playing Pilsen, absolute garbage. Let's be honest. But they got the job done, didn't they? They got through. That's good for them, I suppose. No good for us. But just looking at Celtic's opponents, Almaty, did they know they're the kind of they're in the lead right now? They know. So
yeah, John. I said that. It's, they've got to. Bratislava have got to turn around a 1-0 deficit if they have to get through to play Celtic, because Almaty, as you said, are 1-0 up from the first leg, so that was a 1-0 win in Kazakhstan for them. I mean, what a journey that is. But
they shouldn't be in Europe, Xander. Kazakhstan isn't in Europe. They shouldn't be there. I've said this for years and years and years. These teams that play away at these places, they shouldn't be in European competition. They're not a European country.
Yeah, that's it, John. It's too far away for a start, but as you say, they shouldn't be in the UEFA competitions. I agree with you there. But I also think that, Bratislava can turn that one around and make it a wee bit easier, John, for the players, the manager, all the staff and the fans travelling away.
Aye, it's difficult. No matter who you're travelling to somewhere like Kazakhstan, it's a hell of a flight. And really hot country as well, I think. Not really too sure, never been, but it's just, I know when Celtic go to these places, it's always a very, very tough game. Of course, it's over 2 legs, so we've got two legs to get the job done. And of course, they're not through yet either, so you've got to remember that as well.
Yeah, that's it, John. And obviously, we don't want to be disrespectful, but what you're hoping for, and it's a big hope, but what you're hoping for is for the tie to be over before we play the away game. You're hoping for a 3 or a 4-0 or 4-1, whatever, John. Enough to end the tie. You're looking for that to happen at Celtic Park, aren't you? Before any travelling has to be done, and then it's a bit less of a worry, I suppose, if you're already through after the first game at Celtic Park.
Well, we'll wait, like says, we don't know what's going to happen, who we're going to be playing, but I quite fancy them to get through, Xander. Almaty. I just think that these teams for places like Kazakhstan are very tough opponents as well, especially at home. I think these teams, their fans are boisterous, to say the least, as well. So if we do get them, it's going to be a hot atmosphere in Kazakhstan. And it's nearer China than it is Europe, put it that way. They shouldn't be in Europe.
Yeah, well, I suppose they've got the right to be there because there are coefficients and things like that, John, and where they are, they're there for a reason, I suppose. But it's just something. It's something we need to put up with, John. I suppose if we get them, we need to deal with it, I suppose.
Well, this is it. We just need to deal with it, and I'm saying it's closer to China, but it borders China. Does it know? Is it not an ex-Russian part of Russia or something like that? Kazakhstan. Maybe that's why they're in Europe, but Like, it's no in Europe, it's in Asia. They shouldn't be in Europe. End of the day, I'll stick with my guns. I've said it for many, many years, decades. Teams for these places should not be playing in European competition. Simple. And it would free up more places for proper European teams.
Yeah, that's it, John. And geography was never my strong point. So, no, it is. It's too far away, and it really is. Anyway, John, this Champions League, it's a nonsense anyway. Celtic winning the league, having to qualify, an absolute nonsense. Rangers finishing second with a chance to go into the league stage, another nonsense. If you finish second, you shouldn't be anywhere near the Champions League in any country, John. It should be for champions only. But obviously, we spoke about that in the last podcast. It's all about money, millions, if not billions of pounds going to UEFA because they've invited 6 English teams, John, 4 Spanish teams, 5 Italian, whatever it is, John. They're inviting all the big rich clubs into this. We spoke about that in the last podcast. So we'll leave it there, John. We'll leave it there because we've got quite a wee bit to go through. We've got a massive game on Sunday. Massive game. Aberdeen. We don't want to talk about revenge. We don't want to talk about that because Aberdeen are a decent team. But they did beat us in the Scottish Cup final, obviously, not that long ago. So there are a lot of Celtic fans out there will be looking for revenge, John. I don't know if you're one of them. But this one is going to be really tough. Early in the season, John. Not a lot of games in the legs. This one's going to be tough.
It's always tough up at Pittodrie. I watched the Aberdeen game against Hearts. Hearts took them apart, no problem. Picked them apart. But that's at Tynecastle, it's a very difficult place to go, Tynecastle, so I can see why Aberdeen would struggle there. But this one's at Pittodrie, obviously, Celtic game. So, look, Aberdeen, always a tough opponent, always tough. They're no pushover. They're a decent side. We've seen that in the Scottish Cup final. Once they get a wee bit of belief in them, they started firing on all cylinders. I don't think this weekend will be any different. Celtic's got to knock that belief right out of them from the get-goes, under to get any kind of result.
Yeah, of course. It's tough every time you go to Pittodrie. It's been one or two. There was one last season just before the cup final. We won. Was it 4-1 or something? Can't remember. But in fact, the big manager signed his new contract. Big Johnny Kenny.
Was it no 5-1?
5-1 was it? Yeah.
Was it 5-1?
A bit of a mauling. So, I think that's what the Celtic supporters were hoping was going to happen in the cup final. So I think that, we don't want to go back over things that have happened 3-4 months ago, but the Celtic players will have learned for that game at Hampden, John. That was a bit lacklustre from the boys. It was also a bit lacklustre on Saturday there, John, or Sunday, was it, when we played St Mirren. So we just need more minutes in the legs.
Well, this is it. I mean, do you look at that game on Saturday or Sunday, whatever it was, against St Mirren, we did say that St Mirren had a lot of games ahead of them. They've played the actual physical games, competitive action in the Scottish League Cup. Celtic had not played one single competitive game, and we did speak about that. That's why it was going to be difficult for Celtic. And well done to the guy that got the competition right, picking 1-0 for Celtic, because I knew it was going to be close. I didn't think it was going to be that close, mind you. And picking a 1-0 prediction, that's a great prediction, Xander. I don't care what anybody says. Picking that prediction right, 1-0, was a fantastic prediction.
Yeah, John, because it's Flag Day. We're expecting Celtic to come out the traps fast. We didn't really come out the traps that fast. I know we had a few chances, but we will get to that, John, after the Aberdeen preview. But we did have a few chances, but we never ever really looked like breaking them down until Luke McCowan came on, John. So we'll go into that a wee bit later. Let's go back into the details for the Aberdeen game, John, because, as I say, the Scottish Cup final, that'll be fresh in the Celtic supporters' minds. Some fans will be wanting revenge. I'm not one of them. I just want the 3 points. I don't care what happened in the past. I just want Celtic to come out, John, and put Aberdeen to bed, get the 3 points and back down the road.
That's what everybody wants in an ideal world, isn't it? It's tricky up at Aberdeen. Hostile when Celtic come to town as well. They're fans, aren't they, now, Aberdeen? That's something new that I've seen with Aberdeen when they're playing Celtic. A lot of unsavoury songs coming from the fans. It can be hostile news, and I think things have changed up there with Aberdeen fans. They've got a wee bit of belief in them now since this, what's his name, Jimmy Taylor came in and had them flying at the start of last season. Obviously, they were neck and neck with Celtic right up until, 10 or 11 games or whatever it was, and then they imploded. So, maybe that's gave them a wee bit of belief. Also, they've won the Scottish Cup. They beat us in the Scottish Cup. Scottish Cup winners, Aberdeen, of course. they beat us. So, they got a wee bit of confidence from that as well, Xander. Playing at home and knowing they've already beat us in a major competition this season. Yeah,
well, that's it, John. It's just a matter of a couple of months ago that happened, so that's definitely fresh in everybody's mind, because we've never stopped being reminded about it by the press, John. Every time Aberdeen's mentioned, it's Scottish Cup winners before it. So yeah, that's a good point, actually. So the players will definitely need to be up for this 100%. A wee bit more effort needed than what there was against St Mirren at Paradise, John. So let's get into it then. Let's go into the details for the Aberdeen game, John. Obviously, it's 12:30 kick-off on the Sunday. We all know that. It's on Sky Sports. We all know that. Also, the weather watch, John, we got this wrong last week. The weather watch, we said it was going to be damp, but it wasn't. It was quite sunny against St Mirren.
Hang on. You got it right. No me.
No me, John. I don't know the weather. It's just, this is the Met Office.
I never said that.
Nobody's getting the blame. So, no, the forecast, and obviously this is due to change, possibly, because it's only a forecast, but the forecast is overcast with patches of sunshine and 15 degrees at kick-off time in Aberdeen at 12:30 on Sunday. So that's your weather. Nice, pleasant day.
Anybody believes that, I would take a snorkel and an umbrella with you, just in case.
I know. That was quite bad on Sunday, wasn't it? It was absolutely scorching. It did cloud over with 15 minutes to go, mind you, so just a wee bit late with the prediction. But no, it's going to be overcast with some sunny spells, 15 degrees, nice and pleasant, not a lot of wind. So it'll be okay, unless it changes, of course, because it's just the weather. Okay, John, let's have a look at Aberdeen's team. 3 possible players missing from this one. Gavin Malloy, he's a doubt with this one, with a knee injury. Chris Tobers, he's 100% out, and Gayamfe, never heard of this boy, must be a new signing. Gayamfe, he is also out of this one as well, John. So they've got 3 players out. Celtic have just got the one as it stands, and that is Jota. Obviously, we need to stop mentioning that because Jota isn't due to return until late December or early January, so we know that. So more or less a full team for Celtic apart from Jota. Aberdeen have the 3 out. Andrew Dallas, John, this is unbelievable. You know, we'll get into the St Mirren game a wee bit later and the referees, but Andrew Dallas is on the VAR for the Aberdeen game, and referee Beaton, he's the man in the middle, John. What do you think of that?
Fantastic, eh? You couldn't have picked 2 worse ones unless it was Don Robertson. It was a...
Yeah, it's quite bad. I know we can only play the team that's on the park, put the ball in the net, and there shouldn't be any issues with VAR or referees, John, but that's not the case, is it? I mean, when I read that, Beaton and Andrew Dallas, outstanding appointments for this game, outstanding. So well done the SFA. The betting for this one is 6-1 Aberdeen, 4-1 the draw, and 1-2 Celtic to come out of Pittodrie with the 3 points. So again, Celtic hot favourites, Aberdeen 6-1. You sort of expect that against Celtic at Pittodrie. You can't even look at betting anymore, John, can you? Especially after games like St Johnstone last season.
No, that's why I keep saying I don't really care what bookies say. I don't take any interest in them because they're no profits. They can't predict an exact score or exactly what team's going to win, because on the day anybody can win. I mean, you just don't know. Look at Hibs last night. They were the hot favourites last night and came away with a 2-0 win away from home in Europe against a very, very good team. So, look, no, I don't listen to bookies. It's just, it gives you a wee heads up what they think. But we can do that as well. I can tell you what I think. It doesn't mean anything to anybody.
Yeah, that's it, John. It's just a guide, as you say, and that's why we do it. We do it because it's a guide. and Celtic are obviously, with the better quality players, they're going to be favourites, aren't they? So let's have a look at the first goal correct scorers then, John. No correct score. First goal scorer, Adam Ida, 92. Johnny Kenny, 11-2. Yamada, John, it's no kicked a ball yet for Celtic, but Yamada is 6-1 to score the first goal. Dyson also 6-1 to score the first goal. We'll get to the lineups in a wee minute, folks. 7-1 for Nygren to score the first, and 17-2 Luke McCowan to score the first goal, which is a great price considering they scored the first goal last week against St Mirren. Then a couple of outside bets, John. 20-1 Callum McGregor, who did score the first goal last week but was chalked off, and Big Scalesy 30-1. And take your fancy there, John.
Aye, Callum McGregor. That's look, Callum McGregor scored a wonderful goal at the weekend. It was, in my opinion, wrongly chopped off. I know a lot of people disagree with that. We'll get to that. But he's good for a goal against Aberdeen. Outside the box, they've fantastic strikes that Callum hits. Also, adding into that, Callum will want to do it there to win this game after missing the penalty at Hampden. He'll want to put things right against Aberdeen. So, a good shout there for Callum to bang in the first goal. That's amazing odds for that, actually. 20-1.
20-1 Callum, yeah. First goal. As I say, scored the first goal against St Mirren. Disallowed. I don't think it should have been disallowed, but it was. So 20-1 for him. And 6-1, sorry. No, 6-1. 17-2 Luke McCowan as well, John. That's another good price. Your top was at 8-1 roughly, Luke McCowan. But we don't even know if he's going to start the game, so that's maybe a wee bit more tricky. But Callum McGregor is a guarantee to start this one.
I guarantee, aye. Luke McCowan won't start this one. I'd put my 8-1 on that.
Yeah, that's it, John. In fact, while we're on the subject, let's run through it, because might as well, since we're on the subject, you're starting 11 then, John. What's your pick for this one? Again, it's maybe a wee bit easier than the last week because we hadn't played any games yet last week when we done this prediction, but I think it's going to be roughly the same team. What were you thinking, buddy?
I think so. I think it's going to be roughly the same team. I don't think Johnny Kenny's going to start this one, by the way, but I'll go from my back to front. I still think Sinisalo, I think he should be our number one keeper. I love that guy. I think he's a top keeper. But Casper will start this. But Brendan's going to use the experience. I've no doubt about that. But Sinisalo, can't wait till he's our first team pick. I really like the look of him, Xander. He's starting to look like an absolute top class keeper. But look, we've got two great keepers there. Casper's going to start beside Carter Vickers and Liam Scales. Mm-hmm. Alistair Johnson. Yeah. Left back. Kieran's going to start this one. Mm-hmm. Bit of experience there with Kieran. Callum McGregor, Rio Hitati. And I'll go for Nygren again for this one.
Yeah.
Dyson, Adam Ida, and James Forrest. I think that was the only one you get wrong last week was James Forrest.
That's right, you got it practically right last week as well, John, actually, so well done for that. But I agree there, John. There's no any change. The only possible change I would maybe two possible changes is obviously Engels for Nygren and possibly Shin Yamada for Adam Ida, who is not playing well at all just now. So possibly they two, but in the main, I agree with you, John. It'll be Adam Ida and Nygren. But we'll wait and see what happens just before kick-off on Sunday. Right, John. I'm going to be quite quick because I'm about to run out of battery, unfortunately. So I need to be quick. I'm on 20% just now, so we've got a wee bit left. So we need to sort of hurry up a wee bit, John, if you don't mind. Where was I going there? Yeah, prediction, John. That's the way we're going to do the predictor for this week, aren't we? So our own personal predictor between us two. This will be the first game, John. What do you think, buddy?
Oh, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Celtic.
Do you know something, John? I say that to my wee grandson, actually. I say that to wee Matthew. I think 2-1 to Celtic.
Well, go for it. If you think the same score, we'll go for the same score, Xander. There's no rule that says we have to pick a different score. But I think close. I think 2-1. You can go the same. We both think that. We'll stick with that.
Yeah, I'm going to say 3-1 then, John. Sorry, our siren's going off in the background. No, 3-1 for me then, John. As long as we win, that's all that matters. 2-1, 3-1, 8-1, doesn't matter. As long as we don't drop any points here, John, because we've got this nice cushy wee 2-point lead, and we'll get into that a wee bit later, but we've got this nice wee cushy early 2-point lead, John, and we couldn't have got it any tougher, John. Away to Aberdeen at Pittodrie, a chance for, the Rangers to claw these 2 points back, because if we draw, they've got a more or less a gimme at Ibrox against Dundee.
If nothing's a gimme with them. Look, they were playing Towson in midweek. Absolute guff. So don't use that as any kind of guide when it comes to them, because Dundee are a half-decent team. They'll be up for it. No half-decent. I mean, the bottom of the league last season, they managed to avoid relegation, but they'll still go out there and give it a go against them. So, nothing's a gimme for them. But, look, Celtic's had a tough start to the season. St Mirren, a very, very good team. We discussed this last week as well, how tough the start to the season was for Celtic. St Mirren, fantastic team. They were brilliant again on Saturday or Sunday, whenever that was. And then Aberdeen away. It doesn't get much tougher, does it?
No, that's it, John. And by the way, Dundee are rock bottom just now after their 2-0 defeat at the weekend. So I think they'll canter that, to be honest. We'll get to that in the predictor in a wee minute, John. All right, that wraps it up then. Good luck to the champions. Pittodrie, I mean, it's so early in the season to be going up to Pittodrie, isn't it? So if we come away with the 3 points, it would just be a superb wee marker, John.
It would be an amazing result. Second game into the season, away up at Pittodrie, and getting 3 points up there. Second game into the season would be outstanding, Xander. We'll wait and see. Close, getting there. A couple of days to go.
Yeah, that's it. This is a Friday preview, an early preview, because we've not been on for 5 days. So we just wanted to come on a wee bit earlier, folks. So apologies for that. We didn't do a post-match. Apologies, as I say. But things hopefully back to normal. Right, John, let's get into this Mirren game then, because we've not had our word on that yet. I know everybody's already spoke about it and they're fed up listening to it, but John, we did put the video on with the 2 handballs, didn't we, the Mirren game? The Callum McGregor handball and the Gogic handball. We put both on the video on Facebook and on YouTube, and it's mixed reactions to that, John. But what I wanted to know was your thoughts on it, because I've not actually spoke to you about this yet, the 2 handballs. What's your thoughts on it, John? I'll give you my thoughts after you.
The Celtic one, I know there's conflicting comments about this situation with the 2 different handballs. Celtic one for me is a perfectly good goal chopped off. Callum McGregor knows absolutely nothing about that ball hitting off his elbow. Then it comes up off his shoulder. He knows nothing about any of them. How that can be deemed as a free kick to St Mirren, I don't know. If you've got your back to the ball and it hits your elbow, then look, perfect. To me, that's a perfectly good goal chopped. I don't care what anybody says. There's double standards here. And the St Mirren one, Gogic's arm, would you say that's in a natural position at the side of his body? No, of course it's not. His arms are a mile out. I'm not saying Gogic meant it, but I've seen people saying his arm was in a natural position. How can that be a natural position? His hands out.
Yeah, it's far from a natural position. It's the most unnatural position possible. Both arms out, John. And, the rule book specialists have been out, haven't they? They really have with the rule book. All of a sudden everybody knows the rules. But, John, Gogic, and we were punished umpteen times for this last season. Umpteen times for these very similar handballs. And already, John, we don't get this one. I maybe think that's, out of the 2, that's the one possibly that maybe it isn't a penalty, right? Fair enough. Maybe it is. We've seen them given. We've seen them not given. But that's the one that I think's maybe not a penalty, right? So that's my opinion on that. But the other one, John, the Callum McGregor one, 3 things, right? 3 things. Callum, he's got his back to the ball for a start. It hits the St Mirren player first, deflects off his hand first, then deflects off Callum. None of the players know what's happening at all. As I say, Callum's got his back to the ball. He's got his arms by his side. It's a ricochet, John. Both players don't know what's happening. It just bounces between both players and it falls nicely to Callum McGregor's foot with a stunning finish, John, and that's the one I don't think should be disallowed. Obviously, people will disagree, fair enough, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but for me, I'm the same as you, John, that's the one that should have stood.
Look, if you know nothing about a situation, there's no free kick. You could say the same about Big Gogic as well. I like Big Gogic, by the way. I don't think, obviously, he's no intentionally hit that with his hand. His own defenders kicked it off his hand. His hand's not in a natural position. That's why I'm arguing that point, because I've seen a few people saying his hand was in a natural position. What are you wearing on your eyes if you think that was a natural position? His hand's out. He's ready to take off.
That's it. Yeah, a lot of people have to be rules and new rules and old rules and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, if it's a handball and it's intentional, then fair enough. That's why I think the Callum goal should have stood, John. It's not intentional. Doesn't even know where the ball is. And both of them, both of them, in my opinion and your opinion, both of them were non-intentional. So if a non-intentional handball can be deemed no penalty because it was non-intentional, then why not the same for the Celtic goal that was non-intentional? There was no intent whatsoever by any of the players to hit it with their hand. So why is there one rule for one team and another for another team? That's my argument. Yeah. It's a very, very poor refereeing. And none of them went to VAR either, John. That's the big, mystery for me, if you like. That is a mystery to me. Anyway, John, we've had a wee say on it. The commenters have had their say. There's thousands of comments over in Facebook. I've actually won a badge over in Facebook, John, for starting a debate, actually. So there you go. I actually won something because of that.
Well, I was going to say, before anybody says, you know nothing about football, I know everything about the game. But what I haven't got is a referee's handbook. Right? I don't have that. When it comes to this new rules with these handballs and all that, I don't have a wee handbook to sit and flick through. And I don't really care about looking up what's what. I'm going by what I know and the law of the game for the law of the game that I know. And that is, none of them were intentional. And both, Gogic hitting the ball, he didn't hit it with his hand, the ball hit off him. That's not a penalty for me. And the goal that Callum McGregor scores, 100% unintentional, and that goal should have stood.
Yeah, but
they've got VAR to check these things.
That's it. It didn't check it in VAR. And by the way, the Gogic one, I've seen them given for that various times, John. Umpteen times I've seen penalties given for that. But we both agree that one shouldn't have been a penalty because the big man didn't know what was happening at all, did he? It's just booted off his arm. But we've seen them given plenty of times. But it's the other one that sort of annoys us a wee bit, John. And hundreds and thousands of other. Let's put it this way. Why did 60,000 Celtic fans scream for a penalty? They screamed for a penalty for the Gogic one, and they cheered because they knew the Callum McGregor goal was an official goal and it should have stood. John, it's an obvious goal. It should have stood. But Don Robertson, in his wisdom, decided to chop that one off, John, without going to the monitor. It's actually quite bad.
It's very bad, aye. Look, people call Celtic fans paranoid, but that's a perfect example. I know there has been a lot of debate about it, not just in our podcast and videos or whatever, but everywhere there's been debates about it. People have got their own opinions there. That's what VAR's there for, to thoroughly check these things. And surely if you've got your back to a ball, and I've seen this with Celtic before, so you look at these things and you balance it up, there's something no right there, Xander. It's as simple as that. I don't care if these guys are sitting in their wee referee's handbook 2025 edition. I don't really care what you think. That's not a penalty, and that's a perfect goal. Yeah. In my eyes, knowing the law of the game as I know the law of the game, I don't need to buy referees' books to look it up or go into Google and look it up. By the law of the game, that's a perfectly good goal chopped off and the correct decision with the penalty, in my opinion. But you can't have one law for somebody and a different law for somebody else. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's thousands of people agree with you, John. Right, we'll leave it there, John. That's it. A wee quick mention of the game, actually. Luke McCowan gets the winner on the 87th minute. A deflected shot, made himself a nice wee bit of space, gets the shot away, has a wee slight deflection, but still ends up in the back of the net. There's no way they can chop that one off. The goal stands 1-0 to Celtic. Full-time whistle goes. We're all quite happy with that after, a pretty dogged affair, wasn't it? Really, really tough affair. But we just wanted the 3 points after Rangers drawn with Motherwell. That was the most important thing for us.
The game's won, and by the way, an outstanding performance from Liam Scale. I'll say it right now, man of the match, big Liam Scales, absolutely outstanding, head and shoulders above every player on the park, till probably James Forrest came on and put in an outstanding shift as well. But big Liam's under. What a man, what a performance.
Absolutely solid, and the two of them play well together in there, didn't they? Big Vickers and Scalesy, good partnership there. But we didn't think that the new boy was going to get a start out against Aberdeen, Bhoys, John. But you never know. He may start. He may throw him in there, but I don't think I think it's too big a game to throw a player like Bhoys in against Aberdeen. So I think Big Scales is going to shine again against the Dons, and I think it's an ideal partnership with him in there beside Big Cameron Carter-Vickers, John. I think they're just a great central defensive partnership.
Aye, absolutely, aye. Big Carter-Vickers strolled the game as well, really. Well, maybe looked a wee bit tired near the end, Big Carter-Vickers, but got to remember he's just back for a bad injury as well, the big man. But he had a good game, but I don't think Bhoys will start, by the way. I think it's going to be Liam Scales after that performance. Man of the match, 10 out of 10 performance for the big man. Can he knock it? I'm trying to think, what's the old St Mirren manager again? I can't remember his name, but he was on...
Gus McPherson.
Gus McPherson. No. No, it's no big Gusty.
No, that far back.
no, that far back. I can't remember. I think he played for St Mirren as well. I could be wrong. Scottish guy. Can't remember his name, by the way. But he was on talking about Celtic wasting time against St Mirren, and it shows you how good a team St Mirren are. What an absolute clown coming up with a comment like that. Celtic were wasting time against St Mirren. Was that in the last 30 seconds or something when Celtic took the ball into the corner? Is that what he's talking about? And he's saying that's how good a team St Mirren are because Celtic are wasting time. What an absolute clown, by the way. Celtic pushed and pushed right to the last whistle. And I think maybe a minute to go, maybe they pushed it into the corner. Look, this game's over. We'll kill the last minute. Get the 3 points in the bag, and that's us happy. But to come away with a comment like that, as if Celtic were wasting time the whole game, where are these people on?
Yeah, it was St Mirren were wasting the time, weren't they, until Celtic scored right up until the 87th minute. And then Celtic tried to hold on to the ball just to see out the 3 points, and that's only to be expected. Right, John, I'll tie it up because I've only got 10% left, unfortunately, so we need to be quick with this. What I do, I'll be quick run through some results. And by the way, brilliant 3 points, absolutely stunning 3 points. And if we get the 3 points on Sunday, then we're in a good place.
By the way,
John,
before you go on, Xander, Jack Ross,
aye, he's a muppet. Aye. Yeah, okay. Okay, Rangers 3-0. Already spoke about that. There's an absolutely canter against the Minnows. Kairat Almaty 1, Bratislava 0. We've spoken about that already as well. Obviously, we had the Hibs game, the 2-0 win for Hibs. That was a brilliant win for Hibs, John. That was a stunning away performance. And by the way, no overreaction against. Who was it we were playing against, John? Who were Hibs playing against?
Can't remember.
Can't remember. But anyway, a brilliant 2-0 win, John, and no overreaction like the overreaction we got for Rangers winning at Ibrox. You got to remember Hibs were away from home. Partizan Belgrade, by the way, it was. But no overreaction from the Hypees, John, for a brilliant 2-0 win away from home.
I never heard any reaction. I watched the game on BBC, obviously. I wasn't really paying attention to commentary and stuff, but I just thought Hibs were fantastic. But I can imagine the overreaction to the Rangers 2012 getting a win against an absolute Diddy team. So I can imagine it because that's just the way the media are in this country.
Yeah, that's it, John. Yeah, but anyway, well done, Hibs. A brilliant 2-0 away win to Partizan Belgrade. Sorry, I forgot who it was. We were playing for a minute there. And Rapid Vienna 2, Dundee United 2. Obviously, that was a good result for Dundee United as well. But they've got another tough game to come. That's going to be very tough for Dundee United at Tannadice against Rapid Vienna because they looked quite decent as well, actually. But well done, United, getting the 2 each draw Right, John, ready to do this predictor?
Aye.
We're going to quickly run through this, John, because I don't know, I'm going to run it very soon. Livingston against Falkirk.
Livingston win. 2-1 Livingston.
I'll say 2-1 Falkirk, John. And St Mirren against Motherwell.
3-1 St Mirren.
Yeah, 2-0 St Mirren, although the Motherwell got a good point against the Rangers, didn't they? So, talking about the Rangers, we've got the Rangers against Dundee on Saturday.
2-0 Rangers.
3-1 Rangers. And we have, who have we got on Sunday? Dundee United against Hearts, John. That's another good one at Tannadice.
Well, Hearts just off the back of a great win against Aberdeen, but the Arabs might be tired. I'm going to go for a narrow Hearts win. 2-0 Hearts. Yeah,
2-1 Hearts for me. That's what I was thinking before we started. And the High Bees against Kilmarnock, John. I think there's only one winner there.
Go for the Hibs. He'll be full of confidence after that. I'll go for 3-1 Hibs.
Yeah, with no European hangover, I'll say 2-0 to Hibs. We quick look at Brunny Watch, Ayr against Raith Rovers.
I got my predictor right last week by the Rangers result. That was good, wasn't it? 1 each.
Yeah. Forgot to mention that, John. You're 1-0 up already. Sorry, folks. Forgot to mention that. John is 1-0 up from the predictor from last week. So well done. You're flying, John. Absolutely flying. Ayr, Raith Rovers.
Ayr, Raith Rovers. I'll go for 1-1.
Sorry, I'm taking a wee note of that, John. A very poor start from Ayr. 2-1 Raith for me. And finally, Dunfermline, Lenny's Dunfermline against Airdrie.
That's got to be a Dunfermline one. I've got to go to 2-0 Dunfermline.
Yeah, 1 each for me there. Okay. Right, John, that's about wraps it up. Sorry, no comments this week, folks, because I'm going to run out any minute now. So apologies for that, folks. We will get to the comments. I do promise you, just not on this particular podcast, John. So just a wee quick mention on the competition. Obviously, get your guesses in for the Aberdeen game, your correct score guesses. Even if you're not in the competition, get your guesses in. Just a bit of fun. But if you're in that league table, get your guesses in, folks, the now, because we need the guesses in before the game kicks off, obviously. So good luck to everybody with that. Mad About Football, the Mad Scotsman as he's called now, he is top of the league, 3 points clear. So that's who you're trying to catch, folks. Mad About Football, get your guesses in. Well done, Mad About Football, with your guess, John. All we need a wee quick sum up after you, John, before we call it a day.
Just get stuck into them. Just bear in mind that Scottish Cup final. Remember how you felt Celtic, especially Callum McGregor. He'll want to get revenge on that. He'll want to make amends and make it up to the Celtic fans by getting a fantastic 3 points away from home at one of the toughest grounds that anybody can go to in a season. So, just Callum McGregor watch this week. I think he'll want to put things right.
Yeah, he played well against St Mirren, actually, Callum. But anyway, John, thanks for that. Anyone will do. Get the 3 points on the boards and we take it from there. All right, John, thanks for coming on, pal. Sorry I need to cut this short, but it has been 50 minutes, so it's been no too bad. We've got a good 50 minutes in there, John. We'll get to the comments in the next podcast, folks. I promise you. So sorry if I have to cut it short. And we'll catch you on the next podcast, buddy.
Speak to you soon, Xander. Hail, mate.
Hail, John. Thanks for that.
Subscribe to the Celtic Forever podcast on YouTube. Thank you.
The Celtic Forever podcast.